Hi, everybody. Welcome. So happy that you are here. We are on live, as always, for our Facebook and Instagram Live Thursdays. And I'm really excited to be with you. I've got lots of exciting things that I want to share today. I'm feeling really pumped up. uh, and I just got home from a beautiful hike. It's been so hot here, so I've been getting out super early in the morning. And when I'm hiking, it's really the time for my mind to get to sort of process and organize and decide what's going on. So, hi everybody who's joining. Hi, sweet Kyle. Nice to see you here. Uh, so Today, I want to talk to you about why you feel you left your dreams behind. And especially if you identify as being a people pleaser, a peacekeeper, a conflict avoider, someone who doesn't want to rock the boat. You may be really well versed in making sure everyone else's dreams are coming true. And you might even be priding yourself on having no needs, no wants, no desires. And so, if this is resonating for you, I really invite you to listen up today and to take the invitation that I'm offering you because I want to give you a different way that you can look at this so that you can begin paying attention to the dreams that you've had, the dreams you've let go of, the dreams that still feel alive in you, so you can bring them to fruition. Part of this begins with looking at what I would call incompletions. So, looking at dreams you've had over time, things you've wanted to achieve, things that you've let go of, or things that you've sort of let go instead of putting your attention on them, and checking in to see if they still feel vital for you. So sometimes when we leave dreams behind, it's because they're no longer relevant. It's because we no longer feel connected to them. They're no longer alive in us. And what happens is, unfortunately, many of us, look at sort of a half-assed dream and we beat ourselves up for not bringing it to fruition. So the first thing we need to do is actually get into a discernment around what have we let go of? What have we done half-assed? What have we told ourselves um, we are not disciplined enough, we are not we don't have enough willpower, or we're not devoted enough, we don't have enough motivation to do. How are we beating ourselves up for dreams that we've left behind first? Because we want to check in and see, is this still alive for me? Is this still vital? Is this still something I want? And then discover if I'm still beating myself up for something that isn't really relevant to my life right now. It's something old, and it's something that belonged to sort of an old way of being. Once we get rid of those, then we're really able to look at what's still here. What's something that I really want? And if wanting is hard for you, you're in the right place. Because I want to support you in opening up to wanting, opening up to desiring, opening up to connecting to your needs, not just the needs of everybody else, connecting to your own needs. No more priding yourself on having no needs. No more priding yourself on not asking for help and being independent and doing everything all by yourself all the time. No more abandoning yourself for what you do for others. It's really time for you to start looking at what you are willing to give yourself permission to do. And that just came out of my mouth, and it's a perfect segue. I wasn't even going to talk about this, but how could I not? I am launching a podcast. I'm launching a podcast, and it's going to be out by the end of this month, by the end of June. And next week, I will be letting you know about where you can hear the sneak peek. I've got sort of a little snippet that you're going to be able to hear to give you a taste of what the podcast is going to be. So the podcast is called Your Permission Prescription. Your Permission Prescription. Because what I hear more than anything from my clients is gratitude, that they feel gratitude toward me because I give them permission to give themselves permission for so many things across the board. So I decided to create this podcast, and it's going to be weekly. We're going to have a combination of solo episodes with just me and episodes where I bring on guests. And I'm super excited about this. And I know that any one of you who used to love my Hay House radio show, which I love and deeply miss, you're going to be super psyched about this. I am also going to be doing episodes where I'm live coaching. So I'm live coaching people. We're recording it live for the podcast. But it will be similar to Hay House Radio in that I have no idea, who I'm going to be coaching or what they need coaching about. So it's still going to be sort of that live, fresh, on the spot coaching. So I'm very excited about this. Again, the details will be coming soon. You guys will absolutely be the first to know. But the podcast, again, is called Your Permission Prescription, and it's coming soon. So you'll get a trailer, I would say, next week. And then by the end of the month, you're going to already have a few episodes that you can listen to. So it felt like the next natural thing for me to do. I'm really looking forward to it. Hello, Mamta. Nice to see you here, honey. And Gina, I see you said that's fantastic. And Reni's saying yay for the podcast. And I'm seeing lots of, and Pat, I see that you're in here, and I'm seeing lots. Rhonda's excited about the podcast. Yay! Yay, 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 yay. Awesome. So if I will be sharing it obviously on social media and all the things, but if you're not already on my email list, you can get on my email list, and I'm actually going to give you a little gift for doing so. So right now, I'm going to post into Instagram my free guide, and if you get the free guide, you will also be on my mailing list. And I know that Rini will pop it into Facebook. And this is my transformation equation guide to really support you in feeling confident and courageous to make the changes that you want to make in your life. And so I created this guide so that I can give you a practical, tactical way to start examining and doing your own self-inquiry so that you can make some changes. So let's see. Sandra, you said you're excited too. Yay, I'm so happy. I'm really happy. I miss that sort of the live coaching energy of the radio show, and so I've been waiting for it to come back. So that's what we're going to be doing. So I see Rini posted and pinned in Facebook. I just posted and pinned on Instagram about the free guide so that you can get on my mailing list if you're not already. And in the meantime, I'll give you a free gift. Renee said it's really helpful to listen to others and what they are experiencing. That's what was so wonderful about Hay House Radio. Yes. So as I always say, we find ourselves in each other's stories. And even though the content might not be the same, we all can find resonance when one person shares. And what I also find is that when one person's willing to share vulnerably, it gives everyone permission to share and to actually be connected to what it is that we all feel. And so that's why it also feels so important to me to do these live coaching sessions. And then as I mentioned yesterday, because we actually recorded the very first one yesterday in in my Destination Me membership. We recorded the very first one that you'll be getting. And, I shared that I know from my psychic and medium friends that there's this thing called a cledon. And a cledon is when a message is meant for one person and yet it impacts several. So that's how I look at this coaching when I'm coaching people live and you get to listen in, you get to be part of the conversation. You're going to find something in there that resonates for you, and you're going to be able to get a message that you may not have expected. And so the reason I've called the podcast Your Permission Prescription is, as I mentioned, so many people tell me that when they've coached with me, the number one thing that they have experienced is feeling like they have permission to live their life, to live their truth, to to express their truth. So permission's a big thing because so many of us are used to waiting for permission from something external. And that makes perfect sense. When we were little, we had to ask our parents for permission for things or ask our teachers for permission. And yet, as we grew, we somehow didn't get the memo that we can give ourselves permission. So that is really important to me, that you start giving yourself permission. And then the prescription part is that each episode, I'm really going to give you a prescription. I'm going to give you some actions that you can take to make a major change. And if you've been with me a while, you know that I like micro action. I like to support you in taking micro action so you can experience the feeling of success. And the more micro, the more realistic, the more bite-sized, the more doable, the more you're going to feel success. I see this. So Karen said, definitely didn't get the memo, but got it now. I love that. That's hilarious. Yes, exactly. So I'm glad you're excited for the live coaching. I'm glad that you're digging the podcast vibes. I mean, you guys are my core insiders, so I'm excited to let you know about all of these things. And part of why did you let your dreams go is also for me looking at, when Hay House Radio stopped, I thought about doing a podcast all the way back then, and that's a few years now, and I didn't do it. And now I'm really excited to dive in and do it. And part of myself, I'll be super honest, part of myself is like, why didn't I start this 2 years ago? And you know what? We do things when we're ready. We do things when we're ready, and I'm ready. So don't beat yourself up about, I didn't do this at that time. Don't go into the regret spin out or the regret cycle. There's something about divine timing and a reason that things happen as they do when we're ready. Now is always the right time. I love that. Exactly. I love that. And so, again, as you're looking at why did you leave your dreams behind, you've got a lot of different areas to look at. You've got to look at, is this something that's still alive for me, or is this something that an earlier version of me wanted? So first, that piece of discernment, so that you're not beating yourself up for something or for not doing something that you really no longer want to do. It's just sort of a habit or a pattern of yours to want to do it. Then moving into getting crystal clear about what it would look like. What it would look like if you brought this dream to fruition. What would it actually look like? And what would it feel like? Because this is the big piece. What would it feel like? I have the hiccups. What is the feeling you anticipate experiencing? What's the feeling you anticipate experiencing when you bring the dream or desire to fruition? What do you imagine you'd experience? And then what is something you can do today to cultivate that feeling that you're longing for. So notice, I'm supporting you in cultivating and expanding your capacity to have that feeling instead of tying that feeling to something in the future. What's something you can do today? What's something you can do today to support that feeling being anchored and rooted inside of you? I see Christina wrote permission to change your mind. Absolutely. It's a big one. It's a big one. Permission to change your mind. Yep. And we do have permission to change our mind. We have permission to say no. We have permission to set a boundary. We have permission to go back and say, you know what? I said yes, and I realize it's a no now. So that's what we're, that's the thing we do. You know what, Gina? I'm realizing my laptop, which is what my phone is sitting on top of, the fan is going, and that might be the sound. But I'm definitely not near a waterfall. But I'm noticing the fan is going on my laptop, which might be coming in through my phone. So I apologize about that. Maybe I'll see if I can just sort of hold the phone a little bit away. Maybe we'll just have a little bit of a different angle going. We're just doing what we need to do to make it all happen. So again, okay, good, Karen, I'm glad. Okay, thank you for letting me know. I'll always do whatever I can. So again, couple things. Podcast coming soon. Make sure you're on my email list. You can get on my email list by just clicking the pinned link on either Instagram or on Facebook. And nothing wrong with the waterfall, right, Rini? You can get on the mailing list, and I'll give you this free guide that is super cool, and it's going to support you in being able to make some changes right away, which is what I want to support you in now. So again, go look at what are the dreams you left behind that still feel alive for you? What is the feeling you anticipate experiencing in the fruition of that desire, of that dream? And then what is something you can do today? What is something you can do today to support you in feeling that way? All right, yes, a different angle on life, exactly. All right, so that's what I wanted to share with you today. And I look forward to, as always, being with you here again next week. More details on the podcast coming soon, so stay tuned.